Welcome to the channel. My name is Tiesler. I do car videos about Mustangs and Fords and relevant muscle cars, and this is the GT500. So, what do you want to know? It's going to be more than 700 horsepower. It's going to be out 2019. We got some good-looking pictures down here on the forums. Mustang 6G. Check these out. High-resolution looking pictures. If you don't know, these wheels are going to be 20s, I believe, if not bigger. I don't think they're going to do 21s, but they're 315s for the tires, so they're going to be super big. The brakes are enormously large. They're going to be over 15-inch calipers on the rotors on the front, okay? So these brakes are extremely large. Here's just some pictures. I'm going to go through and show you these. I believe these are from the video here. So, okay, so it's going to be more than 700 horsepower, and the reason why is the Roush Mustang. So for 2018, you can get a Roush Ford installed supercharger, and it makes about 700 horsepower, exactly 700. So if the diagrams and charts and everything we've been looking at are correct from the Ford website that were kind of leaked out a couple weeks ago, it looks like it's going to be a 5.2 liter cross-plane crank, and obviously since it's a little bit bigger engine, it's going to make more than 700 horsepower. So I'm thinking 725, 750, probably not much more than that. Now let's just read through and see what Ford said about it. Pretty exciting. If you look, there was a picture, and it's got a real wing on the car. It's not some kind of spoiler, you know. I mean, this should provide some adequate downforce. I mean, if the 13 and 14 GT500s had 662 horsepower, and they could make, if they could go 200 miles an hour, then I don't see why the 2019 GT500 with 725 or 700 horsepower plus can't go over 200 miles an hour. So that wing should be very useful. So Ford's tweet: the legend returns in 2019, the most powerful street legal production Ford ever with more than 700 horsepower projected. Ford Mustang hashtag blah blah blah. Arriving in 2019, the all-new Mustang Shelby GT500 will be the pinnacle of Mustang performance, highlighting the innovation, ingenuity, and passion of Ford performance. With more than 700 horsepower projected, the supercharged V8 Mustang Shelby GT500 will be the most powerful street legal production Ford ever, and twice as powerful as the original 1967 Mustang performance model. Most powerful street legal production Ford ever. All new Mustang GT500 to attack tracks, drag strips in 2019. So I'm glad that they said attack tracks and drag strips. So I think they're trying to make these automatic Mustangs. They've never made a GT500 automatic. I think that they're going to do it, and the reason why is because the automatics have gotten so good that you can actually start to use them like the ZL1 on the racetrack, on the, not just a drag strip, on a circuit, and they do well, and people are buying them, and a lot more people buy automatics 5.0s than they do manuals. So it's time for that, and the automatics are faster, and people want the fastest thing. They want to compete with the GTRs and all these fast shifting automatics. So it's time for that, and I'm not hating on it. I'm down with that. I like technology, but I also like to shift my gears when I want to do that. So we'll see. Hopefully it would be cool if they do a dual clutch, but I don't see why they would when the 10-speed is already built. It's already there. Why waste the money? They could pull it from the Ford GT, I guess, but that's just going to make the price on the GT500 go up more. And I hope it can handle all the torque from the supercharger, the 5.2 supercharger. And people are going to be changing the crank pulley, the supercharger pulley, and trying to up the boost. So, I would kind of rather just see the 10-speed, because the dual clutches can be, I've heard in the past, were kind of a headache to drive on a daily basis. The 10-speed's already in the Mustang GT. I would probably just prefer the automatic 10-speed, unless the dual clutch is great. If it's great, awesome, and it doesn't increase the price like another $5,000 or $10,000, then great. So that's my thoughts on that. Now, could you just take a 2018, bolt on a supercharger, a Roush supercharger for $10,000 and upgrade, buy a 10-speed automatic, bolt on a Roush supercharger, upgrade the wheels and tires to kind of the PP2 package, suspension, wheels and tires and all that, and probably have close to the same car for less money, 10,000 less, something like that? You probably could, but the resale, you're never going to get your money back. So hopefully these cars will hold their value, and hopefully Ford adds some special touches to the GT500 that will actually make it unique. Like they just released the Bullet, and the Bullet had some cool touches. Sport, it was a different tuned exhaust system, which was cool. And they took the badges off. They did as much as they could without going over the top and within reason. So I hope they do the same thing with the styling cues. And it looks like they did. They did louvers on the hood. They did the wing. They've got some huge wheels and tires and brakes. You've got the GT500 styling with the Cobra all over the car. And I don't know, the Cobra, ever since I saw a 98 Cobra, the Mystic paint job Cobra running around the streets with this guy had a Paxton on it, and it was just the coolest thing. So I really like the Cobra emblem. It's kind of nostalgic, and I haven't seen these wheels before, but they look good. So that's the latest on it's going to happen. We're going to get a 2019 GT500, thank God, and it looks like it's going to be bad RS. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I try to post relevant topics each and every day. Let me just browse through here and see if there's anything else that's popping up in the last few minutes since I have clicked on this, because sometimes what happens is one of these guys that are on the forums are at the show right now, and they'll post up some basically some Q&A that they have with some of the engineers at Ford that they're talking. Some are disappointed it's not going to make 800 horsepower, but of course it's not, because the Roush Supercharged GT makes 700 on the nose, so 700 flat, 700, and that's a 5 liter, so the 5.2, I just don't see where they get the extra 100 horsepower unless because it needs to run on 91 octane, so it's not like they can just, bump up. Where are they going to get 100 horsepower from? It's only a little bit larger of an engine, so they could throw a bigger blower and a little bit more boost, but they need it to be reliable, have a warranty, and all this stuff. So anyways, yeah, it looks like that's the latest news. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate your subscriptions. If you're new to the channel, thanks so much for the subscriptions, and have a great holiday.